All right. Welcome back to Live at 5 with Driftwood. We're here live. Welcome to the Monday night 5 o'clock episode. We have got some things to talk about today. Right off the bat, this morning, Justin Trudeau announces his resignation, apparently due to a breakdown in communication between himself and the party. He has decided over Christmas vacation and after his visit with Donald Trump that he is going to be resigning as soon as they can re-elect in a very civil and electoral fashion in Canada a new prime minister and head of the party. Now, the question is, what actually brought on this? Was it due to the talk with Trump? I don't know about you, but we're going to go ahead, swing in there, and find out. All right. So Justin Trudeau has decided to resign. Okay, so that's a little bit crazy, a little out of the blue. Didn't see that coming. Now, there has been a lot of division and screaming and yelling and even fist fights from what I've seen, or close to fist fights within his party and some of the public, which is a little bit out there. About 2 months ago, there was definitely an altercation between one of the member of his parties and actually somebody of the public. And then we have Justin Trudeau coming out today and giving his resignation as the head of the party and as the prime minister of Canada. Now, some of the YouTubers that I watch, they're probably going to be quite happy about this. Now, if you're from Canada and you actually watch this video, chime in. Let me know. How do you feel about Justin Trudeau leaving office, about him stepping down and making way for a future generation of leaders that may represent Canada a little bit better than he feels he's been doing? And did he step down because, well, he just doesn't want to do it anymore? Now, Justin Trudeau has been in the prime minister and leadership position since, I believe, 2005. And in the position he's in now, I believe, for almost 10 years. So that's quite a long time to be making decisions behind the scene. We know that Justin Trudeau has come out with different laws restricting guns and ammunition to people in Canada, specific types. Definitely been a huge component to reduce the amount of firearms that the population takes on, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Some of the gun control laws that were being put out were specifically, and I shouldn't say that I'm going to get demonetized, even though I'm probably not going to be monetized anyway, but the boom booms, as I probably should be saying, as the boom booms are being taken away, specific types, the AKs, the ARs, more of the weapon of choice that can be turned into the semi-auto or the full auto kind of boom booms. We also know that he was a big proponent of the do-yourself in-law. If you know anything about that, that's where you can actually decide to go to a doctor for just about any reason without having to do a massive amount of testing, mental, physical, see what's going on with you, and just call it good, call it the end. Apparently, he feels that if you want to go, you should be able to go. Feel free to chime in about that one too. I was pretty blown away with that. And I was also blown away when some of the states down here in the U.S. have even considered taking on that as an option. So we've got, Justin Trudeau. Now, what we have here in front of us is obviously Trump's little tweet over to Justin Trudeau, as we'll read here. It says, "Merry Christmas to all, including the wonderful soldiers of China who are lovingly but illegally operating in the Panama Canal, where we lost 38,000 people in its building 110 years ago. Always making certain that the United States puts billions of dollars in repair money, but will have to absolutely nothing to say about anything." So, also to the Governor Justin Trudeau, whose citizens are taxed far too high. But as Canada was become the 51st state, their taxes would be cut by more than 60%. So Donald Trump is saying that, hey, if you want to join the United States, Canada, we're going to cut your taxes by up to 60%, probably more, which is, wow, that's pretty enticing. Canadians, what do you think about that? If Donald Trump comes in and says, hey, you want to join the 51st, be the 51st United State, and we're going to cut your taxes by more than 60%. Well, does that include the Second Amendment? So if you join, your Second Amendment rights, I would assume, become enacted, become real, become law. Now, how do Canadians feel about that? Is it just a random tweet? Now, we know that Donald Trump shot a tweet off to Greenland as well. Said, hey, you know what? We've got to charge you for protection. You're out there all on your own. We would love for you to join as well. Now, is Donald Trump doing what Vladimir Putin is doing? Is he trying to reinforce his territory of the United States and grow the territory of the United States? Since we are taking care of Canada anyway, and we are taking care of Greenland anyway, why not just join? I think it's a great idea personally. What do you think? Sorry about that. A little bit of sniffles here. All right. So their businesses would immediately double in size. Talking about Canada. They would be militarily protected. So like no other country anywhere in the world. That's right. You have the U.S. military. We protect you anyway. So I don't know if that will change. If this is one of those offers from Donald Trump, if you don't take it, well, we're just not going to do it anymore. That would definitely seem to be in Donald Trump's style in the past. Definitely throwing out the welcome hand, but don't say no. And then he goes on to talk about protecting the people like no other country anywhere in the world. Likewise, the people of Greenland, which is needed by the United States for their security. Greenland, how do you feel about that? You want to come join the United States? Apparently, the welcome wagon is out. Donald Trump has said, we will absolutely take you in, and please come along for the ride. All right, so we're going to go ahead and be moving on here a little bit. So up next, we're going to be taking a look into things like the Curious fog going around or the Donald Trump Tower boom boom down in Vegas. We're also going to be taking a look into the mist, the crazy mist that has been surrounding the world that so many people have been commenting on and saying, hey, the mist is real. It's here. So let's go ahead and take a look. But first, we got Biden. After Donald Trump. Sorry, guys.
Members of Congress, the certificates having been read, the tellers will ascertain and deliver the result to the President of the Senate.
Donald Trump's certification from earlier today.
The undersigned, Deb Fisher and Amy Klobuchar, tellers on the part of the Senate, and Brian Steele and Joseph Morelli, tellers on the part of the House of Representatives, report the following as the result of the ascertainment and counting of the electoral vote for President and Vice President of the United States for the term beginning on the 20th day of January, 2025.
So 3 weeks. What could happen, right?
The state of the vote for the President of the United States, as delivered to the President of the Senate, is as follows. The whole number of the electors appointed to vote for President of the United States is 538. Within that whole number, the majority is 270. The votes for President of the United States are as follows. Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida has received 312 votes. Kamala D. Harris
Boy, they look happy. Yeah, it was pretty much a clean sweep. I guess we'll see how this goes, right? Donald Trump, round 2.
Kamala D. Harris of the state of California has received 226 votes.
Hey, that's not bad, considering she was only up there for a couple months. That might not have been the best plan, you know? Maybe if they gave her a little more time, she would have had a better chance. But
Number of electors appointed to vote for Vice President of the United States is 538. Within that whole number, a majority is 270. The votes for Vice President of the United States are as follows. J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio has received 312 votes.
yeah, I like J.D. Vance. He seems like he's got a decent character, but that train wreck thing, don't know about that. I think that could have been handled a little better.
Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota has received 226 votes.
All right, so this is earlier today.
This announcement of the state of the vote by the President of the Senate shall be deemed a sufficient declaration of the persons elected President and Vice President of the United States, each for a term beginning on the 20th day of January, 2025, and shall be entered together with the list of the votes on the journals of the House and the Senate. Thank you very much.
All right, so we've actually got the certification actually made it through, which is sorry guys, let me get back here. So yeah, the certification actually made it through. I wasn't sure if it was going to happen yesterday. Majority Taylor Greene was talking about having to walk through the snow to make sure she was going to be able to be there for the certification of Donald Trump making it back into office for another 4 years if he makes it that long. And we'll be watching. This should be interesting over the next couple years, considering his last time in office and how that went down. It seems like we may be moving into this term a little more smoothly, but maybe not. There's a lot of things that have been happening lately. I'm sure you can agree if you pay attention to anything out there. Geez, I mean, it's definitely gone a little bit crazy getting closer to him coming into office. But I'm glad to see that it happened, that it didn't get snowed out. There was a rumor going around that it might be snowed out and that people might be taking off due to the snow in their planes and getting out of town and not showing up. But it looks like it was a full house. It looks like things went down very smoothly. And it definitely looks like not only was he the popular pick, but the numbers are saying that he kind of blew the whole thing away. So feel free to chime in. Let me know how you feel about that. If you think Donald Trump is a changed man after his experience with the boom boom and his little chunk of beer, or if you think that maybe he's the same guy. Now, there's one question I wanted to raise, just because if you watch any of my feeds, you know I'm interested in UFOs and the EBs. At the beginning of his last term, or his the first time he was elected in office, during his speech, he was actually speaking about defending our country from foreign, domestic, and others. And then he put a massive squad out there to go after information about UFOs and EBs. Now, right about the time that he put this squad together, along with the other squad going after the predators, what we saw was a massive upheaval. Just people literally dropping deuces in their pants. We saw so many politicians and actors and famous people come out against Donald Trump. Now, the question is, what was that all about? Was that about the UFOs? Was it because he was offering and telling the public that we should have disclosure about these UFOs? Is that why this Green Beret decided to drop off a car at the Trump Tower in Vegas? Did it have anything to do with that person's supposed email stating that the Chinese drones and the U.S. drones and what the government may be working with and how they're getting it? Does it have anything to do with this all? Did Donald Trump is the reason Donald Trump seems to be getting along so well with the rest of the politicians? Does that have to do with him falling in line with the way things work? Is Donald Trump going to rub elbows and play better now? Has he been privy to some sort of information that just changed everything for him? And now he's willing to work better with everybody? Has he gotten full disclosure? And now, because he knows he's part of that group of those elites and politicians that know what's really going on behind the scenes with technology and other things that may be happening and occurring right now on our planet? I don't know. Feel free to chime in below. Let me know what you think. Is Donald Trump rubbing elbows for the right reasons? Is he getting along with them for the right reasons? Is he not getting along with them? Is this all just a big facade until he gets in office and he starts cracking the whip again? Starts going after it, dropping it like it's hot, presidential mandates and all that stuff, tearing apart the last administration's hard work? Are we going to see the last administration's hard work just completely demolished? The big question is, what is Biden doing about it before Donald Trump leaves office? All right, so we got a little hot topic here. Apparently, it was about 3 weeks ago, the bird flu virus had mutated and actually infected a human. Now, this is something that's been on the horizon for a while. They've been talking about the potential of the mutation of this virus, and that even though it's just going through birds and cattle and dogs and cats and everything else out there, that at some point in time, it could mutate and jump to humans. It seemed actually pretty inevitable, the way that the CDC has been giving warnings, the way that China has been giving warnings, although if it's coming from China, I'm probably less likely to take it at face value and more likely to do some research. Although when the lab leak happened and the Chinese, or I'm sorry, Asian descent person that released that information, when I first saw that, I was like, whoa. And then watching that play out pretty much exactly how I expected it to play out, which is how it's played out over the last 4 years or so. maybe there is some validity to what they're saying. Anyways, okay, so we have a new outbreak, and it is the bird flu. It has jumped from animal to human, and this patient in Louisiana has passed away. Now, he did have some health problems, as you're going to listen to here and watch. This is actually the bird flu virus right in front of us. And let's go ahead and play this. Once again, this is Live at 5 with Driftwood. Jamie's not in today, but we'll get her out here soon. All right, so what we have here is Louisiana. This is where the outbreak happened, likely mutated, and they're actually checking right now to find out if it has spread. So if you are in Louisiana watching this, do contact the CDC if you are feeling like you're getting sick. Just kidding. No, but for real, I don't know. If you're feeling sick, if you believe you're feeling sick and you've contracted something, and maybe your animals were sick and then you got sick from them, it might not be a bad idea to take a look on their website and then contact them. Now, if the bird flu does start or continues, actually starts hopping from human to human, I think what we have right now is just animal to human transmission. So there might be a pretty good question of the proximity and how it was contracted, which animal he caught the bird flu from. Was it food related? Was it just a pet in his house? Was it something in the backyard? Maybe it went to the park and a bird flew over and decided to do its duty on his shoulder. Now, the CDC, and it sounds like there was a comment made from the CDC in relation to this gentleman's health. It sounds like he had multiple severe ongoing health issues, and then he contracted this bird flu virus, was in the hospital for about 3 weeks, and that was it. So it'll be interesting to see what some of the symptoms were that this person went through when they start releasing it. Once again, this is just released information. This has just happened today. I believe it was around noon that this was actually put out live. So we're covering this pretty quickly after it happened, and this was in Louisiana. So the CDC is on this, and yes, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out going forward. And you bet your bottom that we will be covering this. We will be following the way that this mutation continues to go. The bird flu, having animals and pets around the house, and being a person with multiple health issues myself, this is something I'm going to be aware of. And what is this bird flu? Why is there an outbreak right now? Is it just coincidence that the bird flu, that this happened the same day as verifying President Trump? I don't know. And the same day that Justin Trudeau resigns? Okay, so we've got Justin Trudeau resigning. We've got Donald Trump coming into office and being certified. And we have the bird flu kill its first person. Now, my heart goes out to the family of this man. I am deeply sorry that this happened. And I hope you and yours move through this in a way, well, my heart goes out to you. All right. Anyways, we're going to be going on, and not to cut that short, we got to move along here because we've got fog. I mean, we've got fog everywhere. We've got crazy reports of fog. I walked out my front door outside the studio here, and there is fog, and it has been around. And, you know, we're getting nutty reports. So let's go ahead and check those out.
Quality travel cruncher looking live at LAX this morning, which is being impacted not only by
It says
fog,
LAX.
it seems to be fairly dense at this hour, but also delays in other parts of the country caused by severe weather. Thousands of flights have been delayed in the past 3 days. At LAX, flight delays have jumped this morning from 60 to 126. We have 2 more cancellations to report, raising the total to
All right, so that video was actually taken a couple days ago. I thought it was a good clip to throw in here because it's actually been pretty consistently like that. This fog seems to be rolling in out of nowhere. So um, the idea that this is being pushed around, are we seeing a lot of radical change all at once again? Uh, when we had Biden come into office, I had this sense of impending and radical change. I felt very uneasy under my feet, like the whole world had kind of been flipped upside down. I was going through my injury at the time, and that played, the majority of it. But at the same time, um, having more time to follow this political space, the things going on in the world, instead of just going to work every single day, not really ever watching the news, definitely not posting videos. It's not something I even kind of thought about, except for just fun, and that was about it. Is there a sense of peace right now? Do you feel a sense of peace? If you're watching this video, how do you feel about what is going on where you live and around the world right now? If you pay attention, how do you feel about that? Do you think that we're going to be seeing another radical change? Do you think that maybe potentially we're just going to kind of slide back into some semblance of a normal? So we've been going a million miles an hour, and maybe we're just going to start going back to that more moderate or conservative way of life where things are nice and slowly integrated. Did they just spend the last 4 years pumping a whole bunch of technology, a whole bunch of advancements, and a whole bunch of truths out in front of the people so that we can digest it at a higher rate? And now we have time to, well, so the last 4 years have been this just bombardment. This is all the stuff. Okay, all right, things are about to change. We're coming out. This is what we know. And so all this stuff has come out. All these different truths, like I was saying, have come out. And now this is the 4 years to digest it. Is that what's going on? Has this been all this stuff with the vid virus and the other things that were going around, and all the upheaval and cities getting burned down, and or being torched and looted, and all this, these lives matter, and the separation of the people? Is this going to be a 4 year of just kind of soaking it all up and getting used to the new changes in the world? I don't know. It's kind of interesting, but we do have this mist, and this mist has been going around. People have been sending massive videos in, massive videos. I think I got about 30 different clips today of the fog, a whole bunch of clips of orbs. So we're going to be taking a look at those. And thank you to the subscribers out there that have been sending me the videos, even just a couple recordings of your experience with this fog and seeing things in it, your experience with orbs and UFOs. Definitely got to throw that in there because, we have some fun talking about that. So let's go ahead and play this rest of this clip with the mist. And I did find this one on YouTube. So if you recognize this, thank you.
Dense, mysterious fog has descended upon countless regions around the globe. From the bustling streets of New York City to the quiet countryside of rural England, this phenomenon has left people questioning everything they knew about the weather. But this isn't just any fog. It's something far more sinister. Reports are flooding in from social media.
There is without a doubt something going on across the country. This is being reported in multiple towns, multiple cities, multiple states, coast to coast, even in the UK.
TikTok, YouTube, and X are abuzz with videos of this unusual mist. Residents describe an unsettling chemical odor lingering in the air, paired with strange glittering particles that seem almost alive. People are falling ill, complaining of nausea, dizziness, muscle aches, and even rashes after coming into direct contact with the fog. The question is, what's causing this? Scientists are baffled. Weather experts say this isn't your typical atmospheric fog. Speculations range from environmental pollutants to something more deliberate, geoengineering experiments gone wrong, or even chemical dispersion. But here's where it gets even stranger. Sightings of unidentified flying objects, or UFOs,
All right. So we're talking about the fog. Holy cow. Yep. Yeah. The fog is here. It is here. It is here. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second here. Yep. There it is. The fog and the UFOs. All right. So I don't know if you've seen one of there's a video that is actually going around, and there's a little clip of it in this clip that I assembled and put together. And this clip shows a gentleman walking outside, and he's talking about the fog, and it's that really thick, fluffy stuff. He says it doesn't smell right. And he's like, it's not snow, it's not rain, it's not ash. He's like, this is fog, but it looks almost like sparse cotton flying through the air instead of fog, which is I've never seen any fog like that. I've seen a lot of snow like that, but not a lot of fog. I don't know about you. If you've seen some weird fog out there over your lifetime, feel free to, yeah, tell me about it. I want to hear it. I want to see it in the comments. If you've had some weird snow that looks like something on here that I just showed, let me know about it. Now, people just talking about the fog. We got the fog, and then we have to throw in UFOs. Now, if you don't know that there have been drone sightings over New Jersey, I don't know what rock you've been sleeping under, because it's been happening. There have been, as far as I can tell, on YouTube, Facebook, and every other social circle out there, UFOs or EBOs or EBs, extraterrestrial biological objects or entities. Well, apparently they're showing up in massive numbers all over the planet. There have been more sightings, and I had a clip I was going to play per MUFON and a couple of websites that actually track all the reports coming in. I was looking at it yesterday, and there have been more sightings in the last year than, I don't know, in history altogether. It's crazy, and they're all over the place. So now it sounds like the shackles have been taken off, and people can actually say, hey, you know what? I saw a little green man, and it was in my bed with my wife. No, I'm just kidding. Not in your bed with your wife, but in my bedroom. Anyways, I've had a few, I would say, brief conversations over the last couple of weeks regarding this subject, regarding the potential that this is happening all over the place. And since it's such a subject that is just not brought up in regular conversation, I was pretty blown away when every single person I've talked to told me that they had had an experience, that they had seen something. So if you're watching this video and you've seen something, make sure you say something down below. I want to hear about it. I want to know about it. You can send me an email. I would love to absolutely hear about any experience you've had relating to this UFO, EBO, orb experience, the drones going around. Let's find out what these are. For sure. Absolutely 100%. I'm under the impression, based on a lot of this new information that's going around, that there's potentially multiple species, if this is in fact absolutely true. And it sounds like it might be. Look at the rubbing shoulders with Donald Trump. Look at what he was going after. And now that he's coming forward, and him and Elon Musk were in the same boat. He was like, both of them almost said exactly the same thing. They said that there has to be life out there, or there is, or we know you're there. And then they fought for disclosure. I believe they both got disclosure. And now they have both come back and said, no, if there were aliens or UFOs, I would know, pretty much right around the same time. So, little elbow rubbing, they probably know what's going on. I would suspect over the next 4 years, we kind of see this get pushed under the rug again. And those companies that are out there, reaping the rewards of and benefits of this technology that could make everybody's lives better. Well, hopefully you find it in your heart someday to let us have that technology, to take that technology and do something good with it for everybody on this planet. And I'm going to say this for myself to you. I'm not sure what massive group of people voted to allow you to be in charge. What? Because you made it there first, because you have more money. And why? Why would you not want everybody on this planet to enjoy healthier, longer, better lives? Because it sounds like the technology, and from what I can see, the technology that's come out in the last 4 years, this big jump, and the stuff that's been around for a while from Lockheed Martin, big player, I believe, and their honeycomb technology. Yeah, let us have the technology. Come on. If you got it, let us have it. And not like the iPhone 4, right? Where the iPhone 4 is out, it's the brand new thing, but really you have the iPhone 32 or something like that. We don't want to be on the iPhone 4. We want the iPhone like 28. Okay. You can keep the other ones, but we want at least the iPhone 28. So there you go. All right. If you've got the technology and you're watching this video by chance to skim across it, we don't need to be right up to the moment, but get us close. All right. Right. Give us some floating cars or something like that. That would be cool, right? Like almost Back to the Future. Yeah, right. I would, I'm almost 50 years old and all sorts of crippled and stuff like that. I would absolutely love a hoverboard. So if you got the technology, let's do a hoverboard. All right. So now we got some really interesting stuff coming up here as well. Now this one kind of blew me away. This is what we're about to get into, I believe, is Biden. So Biden's just signing more bills, doing his Biden thing. The question is,
Fox arrival.
does he even know what he's doing? Yep, here we go.
Has signed a law to raise Social Security payments for current and former public employees, and a big move when it comes to drilling of oil and gas along 625 million acres of ocean. This includes the east and west coast, part of Alaska, and the eastern Gulf of Mexico. Though most drilling in the Gulf will stay intact, the president saying in a statement, drilling off these coasts could cause irreversible damage to places we hold dear and is unnecessary to meet our nation's energy needs. It is not worth the risk.
All right. So Biden back at it again, signing more bills. Okay. So has Biden jumped into this arena? I mean, I feel like we saw it coming. I feel like we knew that something was going to happen. This transition of power has been going too smoothly. Definitely a lot more couth this time around. But there we go. Biden at it, signing paperwork saying, nope, we're not going to let Trump drill, baby, drill. Let's do it. Let's go drill, baby, drill. All right. America's got a ton of energy underneath our feet. I don't know how I feel about that altogether. I think we should drill, but I think it has to be overseen in a major way. And let me know how you feel about it. How do you feel about Biden stepping in there and being like, no, you don't get to drill, baby, drill. Let me know how you feel. And, sorry about that, guys. I wanted to pull this up real quick here. All right. So drilling off these coasts could be irreversible or due to cause irreversible damage to places we hold dear and is unnecessary to meet our nation's energy needs. Okay, so we don't need to go out into the ocean and drill a bunch of oil. It sounds like whatever sources of energy we already have within the actual dirt work of the United States or potentially in labs like Lockheed Martin would absolutely take care of our energy needs. Where is it? Well, Biden, where is this energy that you're talking about? What is this energy that you're talking about? I mean, are we talking about oil? Are we talking about lithium? Are we talking about, copper, aluminum, and some exotic energy source? Are we talking about hydrogen? I mean, are the drones that have been flying around? I seem to believe that I saw a picture of a close up of one. Somebody sent me something. There was only like 4 or 5 views on it, but it absolutely looked like just a hydrogen drone. Um, so these energies that he's talking about, we have enough already, and it's not worth the risks. I would probably have to agree. If we have an abundant energy besides, hydroelectricity, besides solar or wind, which we know both of those have a lot of problems. We've got lithium batteries, we got the salt battery, got hydrogen batteries. Is there something better than that will take care of our energy needs, and it's not going to just destroy the climate in the process? And when I say destroy the climate, it destroy our geography as well. So, tearing down mountains, cutting holes in everything, ripping everything up. Is there something we already have, Biden, that will take care of that energy? I want to know. So, Biden, you should give me a call. Let's find out. All right. So we've got the energy, and Biden he's trying to stick it to Trump and be like, nope, we're not going to share. You can't do this. I assume when Trump gets in office, he's probably got his legal team going over all this stuff. How are we going to not let this happen? We're going to go ahead and reverse all these orders, all that first day presidential stuff, because Trump was talking about, hey, we're going to drill, baby, drill. Let's drill. Let's just put a bunch of holes all over the place. Now, what happens when we start drilling? Now, if you know anything about fracking, where they go in and they essentially flood these giant pits where all this oil has been saturated into the ground, rocks, dirt around it, and it causes the oil to come up to the top, and then they skim it, and we've got oil that way. That's fracking. But what happens when we actually go in there and start flooding all these zones with water? How does that actually affect things like fault lines or just the environment around? I mean, if you know how this works, you're probably thinking, well, we're going to drill, baby, drill. Well, anyways, I really hope we got a better source of energy coming up in the future. If you're on board with that, let me know in the comments below. And this is kind of our big story of the day, because all of this kind of relates a little bit. So we've got Trudeau resigning, Trump visiting Trudeau. Trudeau resigns. He's leaving as the prime minister. He's not even going to be the head of the party. And all this is going to happen as soon as possible. We've got Donald Trump making it into office. We have the new virus outbreak of the bird flu. Kind of crazy, guys, right? And now, sorry, it's something going on with the chat here. I'm not sure what it is, but it's not. Yeah. Give me a sec here, guys. Sorry about that. Wait. All right, I'm going to go ahead and jump out of this for just a sec here. Sorry about that, guys. Anybody who's watching, everybody who's watching. Once again, this is Driftwood, and we're live at 5. Thanks for tuning in. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to get back into this. Okay. And this is Driftwood, we're live at 5, and here is our leading story of the day.
Drilling off these coasts can cause irreversible damage to places we hold dear. It is unnecessary to meet our nation's energy needs. It is not worth the risk. Leibelsberger's his son worked with drones in the military. He received an email before this explosion. The analyst says that email includes information about Chinese drones and national security threats. The FBI would only tell us that they are now trying to see if it is in fact Leibelsberger who sent that email.
All right. Well, that's the big story today. So we got Leibelsberger down there. This is the person who actually he's a Green Beret, and apparently it sounds like he was having some mental trauma related to his job. And my heart goes out to the family and anybody that knew him or anybody's been involved in this. It's got to be a tough thing to have a friend or just anybody take their own life. It sounds like before this action happened, he had actually sent out a manifesto. Now, I was watching this on the Sean Ryan show a few days ago. And in the manifesto, it goes to speak about the type of drones China may have over our territory. So these may be consistent with the New Jersey drones. He goes to talk about the technology that the U.S. government has. And in the manifesto, it goes on to talk about the potential that the technology came from, these extraterrestrials, wherever they're from. That's just a little bit out there, right? I mean, can you imagine? This guy's a Green Beret. What kind of technology? And if he's a Green Beret, I'm very curious. I mean, obviously, if he's in that realm, he's probably been sent on missions to do some things that you just can't talk about. And it sounds like right after a med switch, or is what I think they're trying to say is happening, and this may be the cover up, is that he had seen this technology. He knows that what's going on is probably not so great. I mean, he did load up the Tesla and take it out to the front of Trump Tower, click boom, and that was it. Man, if you've heard about the Green Beret, feel free to comment below. Tell me what you think. Tell me how is it connected with everything. Tell me, do you think it's connected because he parked it out there? He was trying to send a message to Elon Musk and Trump. Does it have to do with what I was mentioning earlier? Is it because maybe Trump and Elon Musk have hopped into it? Or is it because he wanted to make a statement that maybe the military is just not helping people in his condition as much as they possibly could? If the manifesto that I was able to, and I have it in here before they took it down, on a Sean Ryan show, they originally came and they went over the manifesto. And then I think they actually went back and pulled some things out. So I actually have a clip of that. And I'm not going to play it right now. We're going to put that together for another night. But we're going to be following this story. We're going to be following to see if the manifesto that was given to Sean Ryan is verifiable. And it sounds like a whole bunch of it may have been verifiable as to certain degrees of essentially what he was allowed to see during his work, what may have led up to this. Besides, is it something besides the family issues? Was it something besides because he had just gotten remarried? Things of that nature. I mean, wow, what a story, right? What a story. And not to minimize the pain and stuff with this, but what do you think he saw? I mean, what do you think he saw? Do you think that we are in store for something a little out of this world around the corner, or is all the hubba bubba going to finally calm down and we're going to get back to normal everyday life? And somebody tell me what's going on with the mist. All right, so this is Drifted here. We're live at 5. That is our 5 o'clock hour. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, oh well. There's other shows you can watch. If you did, great. We're always trying to get better, and we appreciate every single view. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Putting these videos together, as crappy as they are, takes a lot of effort, and I'm just trying to get better at it. So whenever I see a new view or a new subscription, it gives me some motivation to keep working on it and try and come up with a little bit better quality of content and work a little bit harder to make the viewing experience better for you. And don't forget the Elf Man here and his cup of coffee that I'm stealing. This is Driftwood, and this has been the 5 o'clock hour.